Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Good evening, good morning, everyone. So my name is Wade, and so in the next 10 some minutes, I'm gonna I'm gonna help you to get to know some news from AZ for the recent released clinical trial result for their GLP-1 receptor agonist result. And I think in this month, early this month, in New Orleans, Louisiana, the American Diabetes Association 2026 scientific sessions, AstraZeneca released two phase 2b clinical trial results related to the one drug called Elecoglipron, which is a GLP-1 receptor agonist. And in one of the trials, which is phase 2b trial for the obesity patients, and they reported a 11.8% weight loss at week 36 compared to the baseline. So we're gonna go through their results and see what's going on. What does this number mean? So this drug, Elecoglipron, also called AZD5004 or ECC5004, is an investigational oral non-peptide small molecule GLP-1 receptor agonist, which is being co-developed by AZ and another Shanghai-based biotech company called Eccogene. In Chinese, it's called Chengyi Shengwu. And right now, they have finished two global phase 2 studies and also one China-only phase 1 study. And they're going to start enrolling patients in late this year for their global registrational studies, late phase studies. So can you go to next page, please? So before we dive into the clinical trial results, so let's first sit back a little bit and think about what GLP-1 works and what currently we have in the market and how what the new compound can provide. So basically, in our gut, we can release the natural GLP-1 after a meal, and it's basically can communicate with our different organs, so it can tell the pancreas to release insulin, and also can tell the stomach to do not empty our stomach quickly, and you need to take some time to empty our stomach. And most importantly, it's going to tell our brain, you have had enough to eat, you don't have to eat more. So basically, that's how the natural GLP-1 works, and also the synthesized GLP-1 works in a similar way. And right now in the market, we all know that in past few years in the market, GLP-1 emerged, and it's very popular for the weight management, and it's also a very crowded market as well. So right now there are a lot of GLP-1 injectables available, and it's basically patients need to take the injection. I think that's the sub-Q injection for the patients. And alternatively, patients can use some oral pills to avoid the needles and injections that comes with injectables. And right now in the market, I think there's only one approved drug from Eli Lilly, that's Elecoglipron. That's also the similar drug. That's also pill, also a non-peptide small molecule drug, and it's also a daily pill. What the new molecule can provide that cannot be provided by the existing drugs like the oral peptide. Let's see the oral Semaglutide from Novo Nordisk. So basically, for the peptide, it has a very fragile structure, and when it goes through the stomach, it needs a chemical bodyguard to survive the stomach acid. And it also requires some like the fasting. You need to have some food or drinking restriction. You have to kind of empty your stomach before you eat, before you take the drug. So the new drug, the new uh, Elecoglipron may offer some new advantages compared to the oral peptides. It is very easy to survive in the stomach, and also it can be directly absorbed into the gut, and there's no food restrictions and no water restriction. You can eat the pill at any time as you want. Can you go to the next page, please? Okay, so now we can dive into the clinical trial results. So this is the trial design for one of the two trials for Elecoglipron. This is a phase 2b trial in adults with obesity or overweight. So the study design, so adults with obesity or overweight with at least one weight-related comorbidity were randomized into different treatment groups. So the dose levels ranged from 5 milligram up to 75 milligram with different titration regimens here, as you can see. So basically, they're going to measure the 26 weeks primary endpoints and then follow with a 10 weeks optional analysis and then with 2 weeks follow-up. So here, this clinical trial used a dual primary endpoint that consists of percent change in body weight from baseline at week 26 and also the achievement of 5% or more weight loss at week 26. So this is a dual primary endpoint. Basically means if you meet either of them, you can claim a success. And another type of primary endpoint is called co-primary. Basically means you need to meet both. So the bottom of this page here shows the so-called titration regimens for different treatment groups. So for the low dose level, let's see the 5 milligram and 15 milligram, the patients can receive the target dose directly, and for the high dose level, the 50 and 75 milligram, you need to go through a titration procedure. Basically means you need to receive the lower dose first, and gradually your dose level is going to be escalated to the target dose levels. And this is very interesting design here, especially for the highest dose, the 75 milligram. They tried two different titration regimens here. So one is called weekly step regimen, the other two-week step regimen. Basically means the patient is going to receive the one dose level in a week, then going to change it to the next dose level in the next week. And the 2-week step regimen means you're going to change the dose level every 2 weeks until you reach the target dose levels. Can we go to the next page? Okay, so here we can review the efficacy results. So the dual primary endpoints are the percent change in body weight at week 26 from baseline, and also the achievement of 5% or more weight loss at week 26 on the top. So as we can see, there's clearly a dose-dependent relations. So different colors, as you can tell from the legend, represent different treatment groups. So basically, as the dose level increases, you're going to see a better response in terms of the percent change in body weight. If we look at the last two data points, which represent the 75 milligram with the weekly or the 2-week step titration. So at week 36, they achieved 11.1 and 11.8% changes. So that's the number appeared in the news. And another dual primary endpoint is the 5% weight loss achievement at week 26. If you look at the bar chart here, for the two highest bars, that's the 75 milligrams. So it's very interesting. These when you use different dosing regimens, when you use different titration regimens, the result could be a little bit different. And the result is also very consistent in different subgroups. If you look at the results down there by different subgroups, so basically this is the results for the 75 milligram weekly titration and also for the 2-week titration regimens across different subgroup stratas. And so here the subgroups are age, sex, race, ethnicity, geographical region, baseline HbA1c, and also the BMI, and also the baseline BMI. You can see the 75 milligram 2-week titration is kind of more consistent than it is used as a weekly titration dosing regimen. So I guess the 75 milligram 2-week titration may be used for the future registrational trials. And the conclusion for the efficacy results is this is a very significant and clinical meaningful result. And also, if you look at the line chart here, we didn't see. So you can see the trend for different dose levels. It definitely increasing and with a longer follow-up. So this is a very promising result, and we can expect in the registrational trials with a longer follow-up, the weight loss could be better. And also from the subgroup analysis, the result is very consistent across different subgroup strata. Can we go to next page? So this is the safety result. Overall AE summaries, most of the patients experienced at least one AE, but just a few of them experienced any serious AE. It's only in the 75 milligram groups. There are 4 patients in each 75 milligram treatment groups experienced as AE. The AEs leading to treatment discontinuations is very low across different groups. If you look at the lower left pane, you're going to see the potential drug-induced liver injury event summary, the daily event summary, and based on the Hy's law, we can conclude that no liver safety signals because the ALT or AST and the total bilirubin, they did not occur in the same patients. And so basically we can conclude the overall AE overall AE safety profile is quite consistent with the existing drug, and also no safety signals identified for the liver. And if you look at the prevalence of the GI-related AE by max severity over time graph here, so as we all know, so the GLP-1 or the weight management drugs, the most common AEs are the GI-related AEs. So the kind of investigated the GI-related AE separately, and so the AE here includes nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. These 4 AEs combined. So these different So these 6 different graphs here represent different treatment groups. If we focus on the bottom 2 graphs, that's for the 75 milligram with weekly and the 2-week titration regimens. As we can see, most of them just the mild to moderate in terms of the AE severity, and we did not see any severe AEs observed in those 2 treatment groups. And also we can notice that if the patients received the 75 milligram in a 2-week titration regimen, seems like they have less moderate GI-related AEs. So which means this kind of treatment regimen has a better safety profile. Can we go to the next page? Okay, so I'm going to briefly go through the other phase 2b clinical trial results they released in the ADA conference in June 2026. So this is another similar clinical trial design, but this is in adults with type 2 diabetes. So the patients, So the patients have to have the type 2 diabetes, which cannot be adequately managed with a diet or exercise alone or some other type 2 diabetes drugs. So basically, we can say that in the highest dose levels, the patients can achieve up to 1.6 or 1.9 change from the baseline in terms of their HbA1c. And also, I think most interestingly, in this trial, we also observed that most of the patients can achieve up to 7.0 and 7.7% change in their body weight at week 26 from baseline, even though this is not a primary endpoint for this clinical trial. So basically, we can conclude that the majority of the patients received the treatment achieved the guidance recommended HbA1c level, and the type 2 patients can achieve significantly amount of weight reductions as well. Can we go to the next page? Oops, I think one of the picture missed. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is another drug of the Elecoglipron from Eli Lilly. So this is, I think this is the only approved drug in this class based on their ATTEN 1 and 2 studies. And Eli Lilly is also developing this drug using another clinical development program called Achieve. So that program is to achieve. So I think that that trial was designed for patients with type 2 diabetes, and they were trying to get the approval for the type 2 diabetes indication. So basically, these two trials here, ATTEN 1 and ATTEN 2, these two trials was used for the approval for this drug from Eli Lilly. So this could be used in the future as a benchmark for the analyst to compare AZ's drug. So their percent of change from the baseline was 12.4% in terms of their body weight from the baseline, and in type 2 diabetes patients that was 10.5%. Can we go to the next page? Okay, so this is my conclusion. So Elecoglipron's opportunity. So basically, the GLP-1 drugs, it's kind of very popular, but it's also very competitive in the market. So, so what this new drug can offer, it's definitely cannot offer the high potency injectable drugs can offer, which in terms of the weight loss. But this new drug can offer something these injectable cannot offer, which is kind of the oral. This is oral pill, and there's no food and drink restriction. So basically, I think so. This is my personal take. So this new drug is not to maximize the weight loss, but to maximize the reach for those patients who cannot afford injectables or struggle with strict fasting protocols, and they definitely can turn to this new drug.